Well, you know what? We're going to get started because today is day 6. How exciting. Thank you for all being here. I mean, day 5. Sorry. See, now I'm jumping ahead. Christy, you got me going. Thinking it's Saturday. Friday, day 5. Let's back that up a bit. And we have Sylvia from the Aesthetic Institute joining us in the next little bit too. But I want to make sure that we're kind of diving into a few things that we've been already kind of discussing. And of course, as we've been doing, adding some more stuff onto it. Just when you think you've just gotten enough from us, we still have more to say. Because that's what you're here for though, right? Oh, we got a few more people popping in. Yeah, it's a slow morning. Good morning, welcome. Happy Friday. Day 5. So marketing and sales strategy that makes bank. So I know we've already been discussing that you are in the business of relationships. However, we're also in sales. But when I think about it, everybody's in sales in some shape or form. So what I would like to do is if you have your playbook handy, again, I'm not sure which page this is, but it starts with shift your mindset, identify business opportunities. My page numbers got cut off. Good morning, Carmen. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. I'm not sure who Daddy 2 is, but welcome. This is great. Yours is back to awesome stuff. So let's go back to our services, you guys, because we want to talk about that marketing strategy, start to kind of fine tune some stuff to really create good, solid income, because that's what we all need, right? And I feel like the feedback I've been getting so far, and tomorrow I have Vanessa, my accountant, coming in to talk about mindset with money and strategizing your financial side too. And her and I were kind of talking from a place that most of the time we get to a certain point in our business where we might feel a little exhausted and drained, but we know we need the capacity to kind of just push the needle a little bit more. And sometimes that involves some cash, right? Not just energy, it also sometimes involves cash. So she's going to really bring this home tomorrow, but I want to make sure that we're just kind of redocumenting the things that are most important to us. So when I look back on what we originally started talking about, let's go back to our services. And remember how the other day I had mentioned that I encouraged you all to look at ways like subscriptions, memberships. Think of it as like a fluid paycheck, not just trading one moment, one time, one client for money. So start thinking about those partnerships. If you're thinking about working with someone, start creating what could be our big 3 services or packages. This becomes what you're known for in the industry. This is your reputation. This is what, yes, you're initially selling, but you want to become known for X, Y, Z. So this way you've kind of created your own little niche and a need. How do you know what the need is? Good chunk of you have been in the game for a bit. And I would probably circle back to my people and ask them some questions, what they liked about certain services with you, what they appreciated, and then ask them for the ugly feedback. Constructive. It's how we all learn and grow, right? I know we don't want to hear it, but you know what? I think that's what smart, good business practices are, is just biting the bullet and just doing it, asking people, the good, the bad, the ugly. You could also kind of see, run some other stuff that encourages people still to keep promoting you. And I still kind of like the organic method of referrals. And if this is not something you have done, maybe look into running a referral program. Or even better, if you're thinking about doing what I call rebranding, because I feel that's probably most of us right now, we have a tendency to work in seasons. Over the years, things change. We're kind of doing a slight rebrand. I would reach out to those who've been with you the longest, supporting your business. And even if it's just 5 clients, why not have a client appreciation night? I'm doing a rebrand. Come on over, little charcuterie, little wine, some tea. do some giveaways if you're thinking about and you already have lined up someone to be a partner. This is all great too, to like have them part of that too and encourage them to invite their people. Again, it's just community, right? And it's a different side of sales, so you don't feel so pushy. We're not selling cars. We're selling wellness. We're selling beauty. We're selling treatments, right? But our approach is always, how can I help you? What's the need? And by asking your people regularly, that's how you start to kind of create what I was talking about previously, what our heavy hitters are. Then that just becomes what you're known for. And then you can start building some other fun stuff that just becomes gravy, right? That can be the fun stuff. But always having your heavy hitters in place, I feel, is what's key. Now, you could do the old school human touch, leave people voice clips, phone calls. I've done that. And it's simply you're just extending an invitation, is what I call it. And if you write it and approach it that way and say to them, I'm extending an invitation. I'm really excited. I'm doing a rebrand. And even this was me, you guys. I know fully what my program is, but I'm still in research mode and I'd like to pick your brain. We're going to host these master classes just to really get a pulse. And when you come from a place of like, you don't need to know everything to approach someone. Most people are just like, that sounds cool. I want to come check that out too and learn more. I want to see what you're doing. How can I collaborate? How can I be part of it? Right? And then you want to also probably, when it comes to marketing, I always think you could do like old school mayouts. So if we go back to that beginning of where you are working, your place of business right now, where people come to you, taking the time to do an actual like market research of your community can really help pinpoint price, who's in the area, maybe who's doing the same similar services as you, who's your competition. I get a little excited knowing that there's people in my area or in the industry that kind of do similar stuff because I'm like, remember we were talking about this before? You start creating that bubble of like a different type of referral. If they can't handle the flow, it comes over to you and vice versa. Again, creating those win-wins, right? But going back to the demographic, it also helps you set your price points, just knowing if you're going to be in that area to service that area. And when I think of certain areas here in Calgary, there's a lot of neighborhoods that have really worked hard together too to put a stamp on the map. So when I say like Marda Loop, Bridgeland, right? It's like you start thinking of these kind of trendy neighborhoods, Inglewood, that all kind of put on like what? Little street markets, little get-togethers. They probably have a community bulletin. You should be in that. Sometimes some old school traditional reach with people who are already in your radius. Sometimes is more affordable, but sometimes it's just smarter because you're already reaching them right there. You don't have to try and figure out where they are. They're probably right there because the community bulletin's there. Does that make sense? You don't need to have a big, flashy, fancy marketing and strategy budget. Sometimes it's just the simple, littlest things. And so that should bring a little ease too. Because again, most of everything we are doing, we have a tendency to wear all these hats. So you have only so much budget to go towards XYZ. You still need to feed yourself and pay your bills, right? So I'm a fan of like, what's some old school techniques? Even a mail out. I've done that before. Print out some nice, clean promos. And when it comes to like creating flyers, don't get too wordy. Keep it very simple, straight to the point. That's what I mean by clean. You know, and be honest, just be like, you know, friendly neighborhood announcement, or, you know, we've been around for a while, but we've done a rebrand and we're really excited to launch XYZ, whatever your packages are. And then that's where you can like literally go for a nice healthy therapy walk and leave flyers in people's mailboxes. Most people won't answer their doors anyways, right? You guys don't. Who's there? You peek around the corner. But we don't even answer our phones, let alone a door. Am I right though? So I'm like, there's no shame in just walking up and just slipping some stuff into people's like mailboxes. Apartments are harder, but I think if you're in a place where there's some houses, hit them up. They're probably the people that you might want, where they're like, oh, that's cool. She's just down the street. I can walk there. People look at that too, right? Within walking distance. I'm kind of like that here in the Beltline. So I like living downtown. I can walk to all the things I need, amenities, services, grocers, you name it. So that's what's appealing to me, right? Sometimes it's like a lot just to get in the car to drive somewhere because it takes like half a day. Right? But you'll have those clients too. We're like, no, I need Paula for this. I will drive an hour, whatever it takes. But looking at the radius of who's in the area helps you with price point, really fine tuning. And you can actually say, like, I'm in this neighborhood, like loud and proud. We're here to serve. We're here to do these things. We're having an appreciation evening. If you want to extend that invite to people you don't know, that's also a great way too. But easy, straight words. Think of emotional buying needs. Do you need like a break? Is stress showing on your face? Like really hit them hard. We all laugh about it, but sometimes I'm kind of like, that could probably be like the smartest, like little approach. Just having that honesty that's there, right? And, as you're creating these packages and promos, continue to get that feedback because I feel more and more people are just craving, like, even like just knowing that someone cares. Having that human touch point is also nice. Like for us too, when someone has scheduled an appointment, we just don't leave it to technology to manage it all. We are still big fans of dropping a text a few days out just to say, I'm looking forward to seeing you. If they're coming to me, here's the address, or if we're going to them, what's your address, right? We break it down, but it's also during the service, that's the brand. That's where you develop that good, solid relationship. And then the final touch point is the follow-up. I always follow up with people the next day. How did everything go? Unless it was a makeup lesson, I give them like a little bit of a wiggle room, but say it was like a wedding client who came in for her trial. By the next day, I'm like, enjoyed our visit. I also send like a little bit of like a reassurance that anything we need to adjust with the makeup, the hair, no problem. So I'm already setting the bar of like, it's easy to talk to me again. If there's something you didn't like by the time you got home, let me know. Easy fixes. We got you. That sounds great. We'll touch base wedding day too, just to recheck in. Again, just always making sure people feel like they are heard, I feel is the most important right now. And think of some times in the moments that you've had where, are they really listening to me? Right? So these are things I feel like, again, getting back to that human touch. And this definitely is all part of your marketing and strategy. Sometimes people think marketing strategy has to be, again, all these flashy things. And sometimes it's just the simplest thing of you in your bubble, hanging out with your people, asking for feedback, taking care of them can be the most simplest, but the most like monumental experiences you can actually have in your business. I see Sylvia has jumped on. We'll get her out here in a second. Sylvia, just hang tight. Excited to see that you came on here. But I also encourage you to think about cleaning up some stuff too, like your website SEOs. Is your online booking tool easy? Maybe it's time to change. Again, maybe you're in a season of like, are these things working for me? Same too when it comes to your financials. Are we using QuickBooks Online or any other online tool just to help? Are we tracking things better? I think this is a season of not just planting seeds, but really kind of cleaning things up. And don't be hard on yourself because these tasks can be, rather intimidating. But if you just create a list of things to do, and you know what? I actually even said this to Krista this morning in a text, like sometimes things will just kind of unfold in front of you where this is what I need to work on today. The rest can maybe just wait a little bit because a website is a journey. You just don't build it once and then just walk away. She's a constant thing. She needs attention like all the time. Right? But going back to that mini market research, figured out what really you need to be like really promoting. You don't need to have 8 services, keep it really simple. I think that would probably be key. Are we finding this useful? I feel like I can only see 2 of you. I'm like, you guys are writing stuff down. Anyone in the chat? How we doing over there? Everyone's doing okay? I'm doing great. I do want to cover a couple more things too, and I think I'll bring this to the end just to kind of wrap it up. But what I would love to do is, Sylvia, if you are here, I'd love to have you jump on. Now, I've known Sylvia for the last 14 years. So if you all remember Vanessa from the other day, they are both the owners of the Aesthetic Institute and the Beauty Depot. And Sylvia is definitely like a huge behind the scenes. So when it comes to like running the brand, managing everything, a lot of people are like, who's Sylvia?
Here we go.
And this is
I was
Sylvia.
trying, it wasn't working. It wasn't unmuting me. So I'm like, it's okay, I'll just listen.
I was like, maybe you just went to get a cup of coffee.
No, I've been here. I was trying to unmute and was gonna send you a text. Anyway,
No, this is
hi.
perfect. Hi, good morning. So good to see you,
Good
love. Thanks for being
morning.
here.
Oh yeah, remember I thought this was a podcast and I said, sure, I'll do it. And then here we are. I got a Zoom link, so we're good.
Yeah, about a week ago, Sylvia thought we're all shooting a podcast.
I know.
No,
Oh my
that's the
God.
other time. That's the other time. But
Yeah,
I was just doing
you're
a
great.
quick intro of you, just to
Yeah.
say, obviously, everyone's met Vanessa the other day. So you're like the behind the scenes, the brand, the business, all the fun, juicy stuff that happens behind that
Hmm.
people don't even know about when it comes to running a brand. So I'll let you do a
Yeah.
quick intro of yourself and then we'll
Yeah.
go from there.
So yes, I am Sylvia. It's a pleasure to meet everybody, and I see a lot of familiar names on here. I can't see your faces, but I see familiar names. And hi, Paula. So as Trina said, I'm one of the co-founders of Beauty Depot, which is the wholesale distributor for professionals, and the Aesthetic Institute Training Center. And as Trina mentioned, Vanessa and I have been partners. Actually, June 1st, it'll be 24 years in business. Crazy. And just a little fun fact, Vanessa and I have actually known each other since we were 3 years old. We met in preschool and gone through our entire lives together. So we're basically married and, it's great. It works. It's functional. And yeah, like I said, 24 years. And honestly, the time has just flown by and it's incredible. It's just the journey that we've been through and learning and really from starting the business at quite a young age and not really knowing what to do. And at that time, we didn't have the luxury of Googling how to run a business. How do you set up a website? What do we do for sales marketing ideas? Like everything was basically what we learned in university. And it was the idea. And then you have to put that into work and into process, right? And kind of figure out by trial and error what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So it's been honestly a fun journey. And we've had the privilege of meeting Trina about 14, 15 years ago, I think it was. And she is just the epitome of like just your energy, bringing people together, being able to network, and just always feels like it's easy. It's an amazing business relationship, but also a friendship that's developed. And honestly, you are just, I'm so proud of you for
Thank
everything you've
you.
done and being on this platform today. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of this panel. And I was going to make notes. I'm like, I don't even know. Like, you just do it. Like, you're in it every day, and you don't really take a step back to think about, oh, like, what did we do? How did we get here? It's like you just kind of do what you know, and yeah, and here we are.
And here we are. No, I think this is great. Like we've been touching on, and I know this was our conversation last week, you and I,
Mhm.
human touch, because you guys are
Mhm.
great at always constantly creating that community, bringing people together too, even just with Beauty Depot. Like, has everyone seen an invite to like the upcoming events, promotions? There's a sale, client appreciation, all that fun stuff. Maybe just take us like a little bit of a journey when you go to map these things out, how far in advance are you planning? Like, I guess, what's your like
Oh,
process? Because I think that would be kind of helpful to know. Like for
yeah.
me, I'm like always like seasons ahead.
Yes, we are. And I think that's what makes time go by so quickly because you're always planning. Like Christmas just ended. And it's like you're already planning next Christmas events, So we plan usually 6 months in advance. We have our calendar actually that's done a year in advance just for events. And we know kind of when we're going to do our sales events and different deals and that sort of thing. So, but where you constantly have to be thinking and adapting and adding notes to that, as you get ideas of what to do and what worked last year, always reflecting back on that, looking at your numbers, looking at your keeping track of that so that okay, this worked, let's tweak it this way to see if, we get a little bit of a better response. But really the human touch, like Mary can attest to this, she's been part of the calls of when we have events. We always get our list and it's that human connection and human touch. And that brings it back to the basics and keeping it simple and how we started and just growing those relationships and keeping the communication open with your clients. So we'll send out our deal sheets and we have an event coming up and a couple of days before we'll call and say, hey, just checking in on you. Did you receive our deal sheet? Would love to see you at the event. We're having some treats and bubbly and free gifts and that kind of thing. And that also gives you the opportunity to ensure that you have everything up to date on their file. Did you receive our email? No, I didn't. Oh, well, let me get your email address so I can forward that to you just to make sure that, we have everything on file that's correct and send you that. And that opens up other conversations. Like, actually, I was going to call you because I was wanting to do blah, 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 so I think that that's extremely important. And that's something that's always worked for us. And like I said, Mary's been part of those calls and establishing those relationships with our clients, which are like family.
Yes, I love how
Mm.
you said that too, because I feel the exact same way, right? Take
Mm.
care of your people and then they
Yeah.
take care of you. And we were just having a previous conversation for you jumped on too, is just how to not keep your promotions so flashy. Like you don't need all the
Mhm.
bells and whistles. And sometimes it's just like even a phone call, or as I suggested to some of these ladies, go walk into people's houses and drop off a
Yeah.
flyer.
Old
Cause I'm like,
school.
yeah, because I'm like, then they just know, oh, they're just down the street. This is great.
Yeah.
This is convenient. So when
Yeah.
you guys started Beauty Depot and then the Aesthetic Institute, especially Beauty Depot, because I think from a retail standpoint, you built
Mhm.
everything even before you could even shop online, before we had these things in place.
Before we even had a computer system. Like honestly, we had the big yellow pages, if everybody remembers what those were like. And we would go through there, we would find all the spas, we would basically handwrite, on the envelope, put a package together with our price list and just drive around the city and drop these packages off and making that connection. I mean, that's all we could do. Like
Mhm.
you didn't go again, like spas, Calgary, and be able to get the list. So I think that makes you really appreciate it more, like just starting from that and then
Yeah.
being able to
I think
connect
there's
with people.
there's something about having that grit, right?
Oh
Like
yeah.
you've learned that grit that way. And I can appreciate that too, because also you just actually got me thinking, even for those of you who aren't retailing, if you are just providing services, I used to actually like in gyms, other health clubs, if they didn't have services like mine, I would actually have like a little drop box there with like enter to wins and stuff. And then that would be like a weekly thing where that's how I would collect actually for my email
Mhm.
list to come,
Mhm.
which used to be on a spreadsheet
Yeah.
before there was anything digital.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, our invoices were on Word. Like it's like, what do you do?
So now we have tech and tools in place. So
Yeah.
maybe shine a little light on the technology you guys use to create that efficiency now in your business. So this way you can still do what is still organic and holistic to you, which is like you still phone
Mhm.
people.
Mhm.
However, what technology are you using on the back end to kind of help track everything?
And so we started with QuickBooks. I mean, that was a staple, and that helped with inventory and obviously an invoicing system and such. We've now moved on to Shopify, which is an online platform. So that does, it's a good system. It can get pricey. So, I mean, you have to kind of evaluate the different systems out there that work for you, which I'd imagine would be like Vagaro or the Jane app and that kind of thing. But that's for our accounting. We still use QuickBooks for accounting because Shopify is kind of limited in that sense.
Mhm.
Obviously, website, I heard you say that she needs a lot of attention, and yes, she definitely does. Like that is a constant, work in progress, and constantly have to have somebody that's updating that and keeping it fresh. Because you have repeat customers or repeat clients that are coming on and they want to see, oh, what's new? Like, what are your promotions? Make sure you update that, because it doesn't look very good if it says, oh, promotion December 2022. Like,
Mhm.
keep that fresh, and that somebody's there and cares about the business to, ensure that it's a presence, and that's part of your marketing, right? Like, that's part of who you are and how you want to present yourself as a company. So definitely like our websites, and then we have our, I can't remember, Lumi, I think it's called Lumi, that kind of, it's like Hootsuite
Oh,
that
yes. For
organizes like
scheduling.
your scheduling of
Yeah.
posts and such, and also be active on social media. We have fantastic people that do that for us. I'm not great at social media. Like, that is not my forte at all, at all. Like, I do a post and it takes me an hour to say happy birthday to somebody. So you have to use experts and reach out to people that are good at that can help you, that can teach you that, but also keeping that fresh and being consistent, I think, is the biggest thing. Doesn't matter what you choose to do, whether it is the phone calls or whether it is the emails or the posts, that you are consistent and that your clients are constantly seeing you and seeing you being active. And that is the number one key for sure, is whatever you're doing, just keep that consistent.
I like that.
Yeah.
So on your guys' back end, tell us about like weekly staff meetings, marketing meetings. What do you guys do there? Because we've been having heavy discussions on, we get so busy being with our
Mhm.
clients, right? Taking care of things, but the
Yeah.
moments to work on your business, how do you schedule? Obviously, you have a bigger enterprise than most of us,
Mhm.
but maybe
Yeah.
share
I
some light,
mean,
like the consistency
there's
with that too.
there's different avenues that we kind of have to take with that, because we do have a bigger group of individuals. So it's hard to meet all of us together. So we have team lead meetings, which would be like the managers and supervisors that would meet once a month. We also have incorporated a weekly newsletter. So our lovely Shelby, that's our supervisor at the South, she generates this weekly newsletter that has all of the details on there of any updates, any price changes, any new information, so that everybody's on the same page. And that is extremely important, to keep that communication open. We have meetings. Vanessa and I are constantly meeting. I feel like our day is 12 hours of meetings and communicating and chatting, but definitely the communication has to be there with the entire team to know that everybody, is on the same page, and is up to date with everything, really.
I agree. I think
So,
that's a good
yeah,
share right there too.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, and
because
it's just
it's
managing
difficult.
your time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, you don't have a meeting just to have a meeting, right? Like, there needs to be a purpose. And I think that the way that we've structured it to kind of have like smaller meetings with people, that's more efficient. And then having like a weekly newsletter where everybody is informed on kind of what decisions were made or what's kind of going on moving forward.
I think that's amazing. This is good stuff. Any other thoughts that you'd like to share? A couple like best practices that you have found being in business?
Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, I always see our business as a family run. Like, I want that feeling. I want when somebody walks into our business or somebody looks at our website or somebody contacts us, that they all get that same feeling, that they are welcomed like family, and they are like family. Like, we're grateful to be in the place that we are. And I think that um, just the connections, like with everybody, like all the experts, like connections with Trina, just anybody in the industry, like just really network and get out there and spread the word about your business. You know, there's a place for everybody, right?
Mhm.
And everybody offers something different. So just go out there and don't be afraid. Just do it, you know? And I think Trina, like honestly, this platform that you're creating, I think is absolutely incredible. And there's not a better person that could do this, like with all your knowledge and your expertise and just your delivery and energy. Like I think it's phenomenal. So, and I wanted to say one more thing. There was this conference that I went to, and I don't remember anything. I don't remember what I did last night, but there's this conference we went to, and there was a speaker, and he said this quote that just stayed with me and really resonated with me. And it was, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing.
I like that.
And if
So
you really
simple.
think about that, right, it just means so much. Like it's just different for everybody, but I think it's honestly just keeping it simple and keeping the main thing the main thing. So
Yeah.
that's all.
Sometimes that's all it is, the simplicity of it
It
all.
is. It
I think
is.
we've
It's
been talking
just
about that
keeping it
often,
simple.
off and on all week. We just have a tendency to complicate it.
Yeah, I know. Just keep it simple.
Oh, we're overthinking. We're thinking
Yeah.
about
Oh,
tomorrow.
yeah.
Meanwhile, sometimes just hang out right here, right now, and the
Yeah.
answers to you. And you're like, that's all I
Yeah.
needed to know. Done and done.
Yeah.
Imperfectly perfect. That's what I've
Yeah.
been calling this whole
Exactly.
journey.
Oh, yeah. It's been 24 years of that.
And then how about some
Yeah.
you time? Where do you make you time amongst all of this
Um,
fun?
yeah, I at night I try to do my workouts. I got a Fitbit for Mother's Day, which I think is going to be, I don't know, I think I might be selling that on Marketplace because I wear it to sleep now. And now I'm like more worried about this Fitbit and what it's telling me if I'm sleeping or not than I'm not sleeping. But anyway, so I've been wearing that now to do workouts, and it's actually quite interesting to see what you're burning and such. But my me time is in the evenings, come home, cook dinner, do a workout, watch some hockey. Still don't know who I'm cheering for Edmonton or Vancouver, but I don't know.
That
Just
seems to
make
be
the
the theme
time develop.
across everybody.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I don't
World of
know. I'm cheering
hockey.
for both.
I love this. I'd love to open this
Yeah.
up to Q&A. Does anybody have any questions for Sylvia while we have her here? You can throw it in the chat if you're not feeling too
Hi,
brave.
Rouge. Happy birthday.
Actually, yes, it was his birthday yesterday, and I only knew about this
Mm.
like last night. Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Rouge.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Any questions for Sylvia?
No, well, you'll
No?
have my email address if anybody does have
Yeah.
anything to.
And you're part of our community page too, which is
Mhm.
great. So you can always message Sylvia in there too. We also included the Aesthetic Institute website, which I'm pretty sure everybody has access to already anyways. They're always around and always available. But
Mhm.
14 years of having a fantastic friendship, relationship, and partnership with Sylvia and
Mhm.
Vanessa was probably one of the best things in my whole entire career too.
Oh,
You find your people, right? We've
yeah.
been talking about this like a lot. Create your bubble, create your
Mhm.
foundation. These are the people. But no,
Yeah.
thank you for being here. This was
Okay. Thank
amazing.
you.
For your
Thank you for
expertise.
having me.
And we'll let you go because then we'll kind of take it from here
Yeah.
and wrap up our
Sounds
webinar.
good.
Thanks,
Okay.
lovely.
Enjoy. Thank
Happy
you.
weekend. I'll talk to you soon.
Happy weekend. Bye.
Such good energy. Am I right? It's nice to bring in others because I'm like their perspective sometimes is just a little refreshing. You know, we're all running businesses. We're all women trying to do our thing. We're all like trying to navigate everything. And this was actually a conversation I actually just had with my accountant. We were talking about how to just be present in the moment. And I've already kind of alluded to this working in seasons. Right now, you're planting some seeds. We're making some changes. This is the season to kind of move into harvest coming up. Start kind of feeling, okay, we've created like a strong foundation of where we're going, right? Winters is your time of what? Renew, relaxing, uncovering, unwinding, right? Finding a balance between what? Feminine and masculine, and keeping that ego in check. And ego's not like, hey, look at me. Sometimes ego comes from a place of like also doubt. Something else telling you, do you have it, what it takes? Yeah, you do. Right. And it's just kind of bringing it back to, I like what Sylvia just said, keep it simple. Just keep it that one thing. So I think too, when we're looking at our businesses, going back to how we kicked off today again, what are your two best, 2 or 3 services? Don't complicate it. Become known for XYZ and don't stray. You might adjust, but you're not going to totally leave that. Things need time to nourish. You need to nurture it for a while. You need to get that feedback. Include your people. Every move I make is not just me going, yep, that sounds great. And sometimes, yes, that is, but I always lean in my resources to be like, how does this sound? What does this look like? How does this feel? I'll set something up and Krista's like, we can do something better. Right? So it's like you have a vision in mind, but you have someone that you can just fall back on, right? Often, unfortunately, it's not easy to be present in the moment. Yeah. And that takes practice just to also honor being in those moments and take in those moments. Finding peace. Kate had mentioned something too. Yeah, ego and doubt. It's practice, absolutely. I think the personal growth side needs to be your first focus while you're having fun building a few things, because then it's like the capacity to know that you can grow, that you can make 6 figures, have sustainability. It starts with you believing in yourself first and foremost. Getting in alignment with your purpose, right? And just trusting everything, trusting yourself. And write that down. Start with some stuff like, I trust myself. I believe in myself. Trust in this whole process. My biggest things lately have been, I am safe. I'm secure. Everything I need always shows up. I'm safe and secure, and everything I need always shows up. And stop aiming for perfection. Don't need to have it all perfect, right? Going back to how we kicked off today. Extend an invitation to people you like, trust, respect. To say, I'm looking at really zeroing in on these certain services. I want to have a client appreciation night. What are your thoughts? I'd love feedback. And please support me. Ask for it. Please support me. Ask for support. That's where it starts. I think, again, too, that's where you put ego to the side, thinking you don't need to do this all by yourself. And that's why I created this program. Especially right now, with given our market, where everyone's at, most of us are quite seasoned. We're a little tired, right? We're looking for that one thing, which is probably not too far off. But it's working together. You don't have to be alone. There's a couple chats here. Kate, can you say your affirmation again? Safe, secure, and everything I need is always here. It's always available. Always shows up, however you want to word it. But if you come from a place, I trust myself, same too with money. Get a financial plan in place and how you're managing it. Sometimes it's not even about the money coming in, it's how it's going out. Oh, girls, do I need those shoes today? If they're orthopedic, maybe. Right? But you got to keep it light and you got to have some humor to it. And you should be able just to be vulnerable enough to know that some days aren't going to be your best. And other days you're going to be like, that was awesome. Not every day needs to be so monumental. It's the littlest things that all add up. These are the things that I have learned along the way. And then this tripled for me this spring season. moving forward in a direction because I'm making some not radical changes, but some things that is no longer need part of my business. I just really want to simplify, really focus into my gifts, my purpose without feeling exhausted. Because that's what was going on last year for me. But it took August and several months to kind of find that rhythm again, sitting with yourself and then being like, I don't need this anymore. This is what I need. And that's probably the same for your business. Just scale some stuff back. Find the few things that you just enjoy, create that bubble, ask for help, get people involved. I'm also going to add in there, schedule what is important to you about you first. Stop thinking about your businesses first. What do you actually really need? And yeah, this is actually strategy. It's the same as Sylvia said, among a team, they do micro little meetings. You should have micro meetings with yourself. Like when I say like when we're pushing and grinding, does that kind of make sense? Like constantly thinking we need to be busy, we need to be doing these things. And there's a difference between being out there, but also just, if you want to work 12 hours, I applaud you. But I don't think that's the goal, right? We get to a point in our lives where we're like, but there's all these other things that I'm not fully enjoying. So maybe that should be the focus. And then that becomes part of your storytelling. That's the authentic side. That's what draws people to you too. And you meet people that way, right? Kind of stretch yourself a little bit differently, but finding schedule to what's important to you first. Like literally sit down, listen. The best time to shoot content. Has anyone taken advantage of this since yesterday? When you're feeling a little motivated, did we get like a kind of like a oof, and we just started writing some stuff out or some concepts and thoughts? Did anybody do that yesterday? That was me. Well, I was having lunch and then I had to go do the other webinar. And then after that webinar, I was like, it's a great time to get busy because I was feeling it, right? Instead of getting up and having a day where you're like, oh, I gotta shoot video. I don't shoot video right from the start. You got to like move the body and something just comes across you and you're like, there's the message, right? Stop forcing it. And if you have like where all of a sudden you're just writing stuff out, you're not having writer's block, have at her. I think that's all part of your journey and part of the storytelling, and it ties into your business. Because whatever you're writing down is probably coming from a place of conversation you're going to have with people anyways. So there's your social media posts. Here's your blog. Instead of just thinking you have to throw something up there. Working your career around keeping things simple, but also get those tools in place to create the efficiencies. And to see more stuff with Louisa. It's been since 2 years that I'm finally focused on myself as a person. Not trusted myself. That's beautiful, Louisa. But hold on a second. Krista, are you posting Louisa's post? What's happening here?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She just has it, the two just to me, so I've just been
Oh,
copying and pasting.
no problem. I just saw your logo beside and I was like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. That's all good. And then Kate, yes, ChatGPT, right? Helps just kind of like find some wording to put things into place. Especially when it comes to content. Absolutely love it. Okay, let me just double check my notes here. All right, leadership. Let's talk about this. This is something I've been looking at too, because I've actually been a huge fan of like community initiatives, charity. Pandemic kind of wiped out a few things for me, but I'm always contributing in some shape or form. Find ways that you can get involved in community initiatives and charity. And sometimes it's just like you with your services popping in somewhere to help out, whether it's like women getting back into the workforce was like one, women going through cancer. I know Eau Rouge specializes definitely in that side of it all, right? But there's always another reach to another side where a lot of women don't really have that support in place and lean on different like groups, you know, they have like different organizations that they're part of. But there's tons of different ways that you can make a small impact that has a nice ripple effect. Even if someone's hosting an event, how can you get involved? Remember, I was just saying with the gyms, like back in the day, I would like leave like little draw boxes with like a little sign, like enter to win for blah, blah, blah. And then of course, this was the old school pen and paper ballot, but they check the box to know that they're going to be on my email list. And that's how you kind of just start some stuff and you get people in the door that way too. But make sure it's a place of business that you know, like these are your people. Does that make sense? Because you just don't want to be giving away free services and nobody's coming back. Right? Participate in things that are helping the community. Create an awareness. You're part of, you know, something that's just a little bit bigger than the rest of us. Loved it. Yeah. Louisa said she's holding a meeting in April for cancer patients, or she did, sorry, in April for cancer patients in health and beauty. Everybody's looking for something. And again, that's like easy networking because you're all there for the same purpose, to help others. So when I think of marketing strategy, it's not just the flashy stuff, but use and pick tools that definitely create efficiency for you and the client journey. But write this down. Let's circle back to the very first question. What is your why? Has it changed a little bit? Have we added on to it? Has it grown a little bit? My why has this week, right? Because you keep growing on it when you hang out with people, right? When you know you're doing the thing, your purpose. Amazing, Louisa. It's a great shares. I'd like to hear from a couple of you. Karma, what are you writing down over there? I'd love to hear. Share like a couple thoughts, whatever you want it to be. Be brave. Oh, are we having issues here? I'll do it for you. See if that works. Did it pop up? No. Are you typing or are you trying to hit the mic? I'm like trying to help you. I was like, maybe you just type it in the chat. Oh, there you
I
go.
guess we'll be able to speak. I'm just writing down everything that you're saying mostly. So I'm just putting it all in point form.
That's
So,
amazing.
trying to keep up with it.
Well, at least you get replays, right?
Yeah, well, you recorded like the session and I could like watch them over, but I'd rather just make notes so I don't have to watch it all over again and try to rewind it or go back. So
Yeah, that I can rate them like that too. I totally
yeah.
get it. Well, that's good.
Okay.
You're getting lots of nuggets put down. I like that. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
How about you, Paula? Care to share a couple thoughts? One thought at least?
I guess. Sorry. My why has changed from the beginning of this journey. Relooking at a lot of, like, really looking at the reason why I got into business and continue. And yeah, there's so many things that I already want to start working on and changing and simplifying because everything is a little bit complex in my business, like services and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
so
I think
appreciate
that's just, that comes from like a place of thinking like, again, we need to keep adding on to things. But sometimes people are like, no, wait, remember when you started? You used to do this cool thing. And you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Back to the basics again.
Yeah.
But I like that. That's a great share. And I know that comes from a place of like honesty and really wanting to move forward. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank
That's
you.
great.
Just a note, I'm gonna have to leave soon. So if I just leave, I have a client for 12.
That
So
sounds good.
just so you know.
Thanks for letting us know. Well, thanks for being here today. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? We throw something in the chat here. An hour each day. but I'm definitely rewatching. Oh, and building my business plan. Yes, that's great. Yeah, this is good. So good stuff. So like 3 hours a day. LOL. That's cute, Kate. Anyone else? Do we have any questions to wrap up our few minutes together of the hour? Can I pick on Urush for a second? Our birthday girl. I left her a voice memo last night and I was like, how come you didn't say anything? We could have sang to you. So I
Yeah.
left her a happy birthday. I would love to hear your thoughts on working with cancer patients and that contribution on that side to your business.
Oh, it's
If you're okay to
actually,
share.
oh, absolutely,
okay.
absolutely. That's I think the why we're actually talking about is like I got my purpose in that. Like for some reason I got into oncology aesthetics and I kind of like it sits very close to my heart now. And when you go and you see patients with so much more problems, and it's not fungal nail infection or, you know, acne problems or something like that. It's so much more bigger. It's life-threatening. It's like they are suffering from years and years and years, and they are going through all of that. It just makes you realize you have a bigger purpose in this industry when you come in. And that's exactly what I felt when I started it. I started it with the, one more addition to my specialities that I do, because I go around, like I practice internationally as well. So that was one more credit to my, to my services.
Yeah,
But
I think that's beautiful.
the moment I start practicing that, it becomes very personal to me. So I get a little emotional as well. Sorry. But yeah, it is something that I think my future will be in that. That's what I think about it now.
Yeah. So now
Can
you
I
sound
say
a deeper
something?
why. Yeah.
Of course.
And Louisa, you had a question?
Yeah, because I am a esthetician and oncologist esthetician since 2013. Since then, I'm tried and finally I'm doing it to introduce this expertise. And I have my personal reason why I grew up in a family with lots of cancer since I was a kid. And I always met people with cancer or survivor or heavy medication, and they are on risk on infection, and you definitely cannot treat them as a healthy body.
Agreed.
In every ways, also how to approach and to talk with this clientele to protect yourself. Lots of stuff. And I'm so happy after a lot of time that I can co-teach oncology training basic program at TAI. That is one of my dreams came true. And another is I done my Health in Beauty social beauty tea event just in April, and I'm going to do more. But also people with bad mood, depression, or you don't need to be for sure cancer. For sure cancer is more complicated. It depends where is the client, in which point of the journey is the client. It is in chemo or not, whatever, But also think when you go to their stylist to have a brow shaping, you feel a pincher happier. So, and you don't realize because you are unhealthy. When you are life, you're threatened, and there is no way to feel joy and pleasure with your body. Of course, touch and good ingredients and attitude and treatments, but not fancy. Depends all the time where the client is. It is.
Yeah.
You make
No,
a
this is a great share.
difference. You make a difference. You know, because yeah, of course, I also know why I couldn't do this before, because I had to heal myself for my stuff, a standpoint, familiar standpoint. And now I am really ready to be there where there is this kind of suffering and making a pincher better. That is unpayable. But it's a choice.
Beautiful, Louisa. And you
It's a
just nailed it
choice.
right there. You took time for you first to actually figure out what your purpose is. And here you are. That's beautiful.
You know,
It's a
and
great
I'm
share.
so glad that I can co-teach how to create a treatment for that client, personal and proper for the time. You know, yeah. There are also, absolutely, we are social beautician, like your client comes at your spa, at your salon, and is, I don't know, upset or whatever, you know, and just walk in another way out. So I think this is important to emphasize also when you teach aesthetics, in my opinion. You know, I think is a really good point.
Yeah,
This.
no, that's great, Louisa. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
No, that's great. And you know, this is like that type of platform, right? Bringing people together to share.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
love it because everybody's got a different type of journey, right?
Yeah.
So on that note, I want to wrap this up for you guys because we got 1 minute to 12. And I know everyone's got busy lives. Keep it simple, but really focus in on like, what do you actually want to do? Because I think when we start paying attention to too much of noise outside around what we need, it gets a little messy, right? Zone it in and just be like, this is what I need to do. And that is it. And then run with it. Build your communities. So on that note, early bird registration is still open to start with us June 5th. Put down your deposit. All the extra bonuses are there. When you click on that landing page too, there's some extra information that we decided to put back in there for you guys as well. But you can still book a one-on-one with me. So I know I have a few meetings coming up over the weekend and into Monday with some of you, and I'm looking forward to that. But reach out. We're on the Facebook community page as well. And tomorrow, day 6, we're bringing it back. Finances, you're going to want to be here for it because it's going to be good. And my girl Vanessa's got a mouthful. We got another Vanessa join us. It's a different Vanessa. When I say mouthful, she's got lots to say. 17 years seasoned of working with female entrepreneurs. She's going to be great. So thank you for your time and for being here. This was amazing. Day 5. These days are just going too fast. All right. I wish you guys a lovely day today. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.